Hi guys, welcome back to Happily Ever After. My name is Megan Rogers and I am a breeder of miniature schnauzers, and I am doing a video today on what is a backyard breeder, what is a puppy mill, and what is a reputable breeder, and how to tell the difference. Lots of comments have been made. There have been a lot of breeders recently that have had dogs that have had parvo, and people that have dealt with dogs being inbred, people that have just unhealthy puppies and issues. And the biggest thing that we try to do at Happily Ever After, as if you follow our page can tell, is that we try to educate. So we try to educate people on how to raise puppies, on how to breed puppies, on what to look for in a breeder, on lots of different issues with miniature schnauzers, and I believe education can solve a lot of issues for people with miniature schnauzers and any dog breed. It doesn't matter what breed it is. So with that today, I've just kind of seen enough comments and seen enough things that I literally had to make a video that would explain the difference. So first thing we'll talk about is what is a puppy mill. So a puppy mill treats dogs as a cash crop. It's disgusting. They literally do not care about the veterinary care of their dogs, that there is little or none at all, that they start breeding them the minute they're able to breed and breed them until they no longer produce, and then they destroy them. They do not have a life. They are kept in small confined cages. They are not groomed. They are not socialized. They are not ever treated as pets. They don't have anything from even a blanket and a toy to, I get so upset talking about this. They don't get human affection. They don't get attention. And their puppies are taken away way too young. Their puppies are taken away at 5 weeks, 6 weeks. And their puppies are not, as we talked about, not having veterinary care, but also not having any type of shots, not having, not being wormed, not, we strongly believe in puppy, and things like that, and none of that is done with them at all. Dogs that you see coming out of puppy mills they don't know how to play because they've never been exposed to toys. They often do not make good pets. And that is also where you get into dogs that have been inbred and too many coefficients in common. Also, puppy mills are not constantly doing education. So my friends that are breeders and myself, we are constantly trying to learn. We are constantly trying to learn how to do things better, how to improve our program, what's going on in the breed, what's going on in the community, talking to people who are better than we are, and learning, and working with our veterinarians. And these are not things that are happening at a puppy mill. It is literally a cash crop. They are literally just trying to make money off of you. So that brings me to backyard breeders. So a backyard breeder is also motivated by profit. A lot of times these are people who literally have a couple of dogs and think, I'll just let them breed and I'll make some money. It'll be easy, no big deal. They usually are just breeding their own pets. So, they're not as evil as a puppy mill, but they are still a problem. So a lot of times they're doing designer breeds, which is a fancy way of saying mutts. Now, I do not have problems with designer breeds specifically, as long as they are ethically bred and health tested, and you are looking at all different parts of it, and you are an ethical breeder, and you are doing this with your veterinarian. A backyard breeder is just somebody who decided that if I put my Chihuahua and my Maltese together, I'll call them Malcheese and I'll sell them for $800. That is not okay. I have a problem with that because they are not constantly beating on their craft. And that is where you come into the difference of a reputable, ethical breeder and a backyard breeder, where there is not education, there is not knowing what to do. I mean, so many things can go wrong. So many things can go wrong when you're breeding. And not every dog should be bred. So, the other problem with backyard breeders is that they are flooding the market with puppies for people to buy at a cheaper rate, and then it causes problems for reputable breeders who are trying to sell their puppies and do a good thing. So some of the ways that you can tell a reputable breeder from a backyard breeder is that they are not doing a bunch of breeds, okay? An ethical, reputable breeder can only really keep up with 1 or 2 breeds. I am constantly reading everything that I possibly can find on miniature schnauzers. I only breed miniature schnauzers. I don't breed anything else. I do not have anything non-schnauzer that I even own. I don't own another breed, because I want to know everything there possibly is about my breed so that I can be breeding the best miniature schnauzer that I can possibly. Also, a reputable breeder would never, ever sell to a pet store. That would never happen. You would never sell your puppy to a pet store because you want to know about your families. You do not work with dog brokers, flea markets, any of those things. And that should be a huge red flag if they are getting their puppies adopted anyway but through themselves. They should be looking at their families. They should be asking questions about their families. They should be trying to figure out what type of lifestyle they have so that they can match them with the right fit. Not just, oh, I really think that one's pretty and I want that one. I don't sell my dogs like that, and none of the breeders that I know and respect sell their dogs that way either. They are involved with organizations. So I personally don't show. I have no interest in that, but that's one way that you can tell that somebody actually cares about the breed. I'm involved with puppy culture, and I am involved with trainers and my veterinarian. Another way to tell a good breeder is that they have clear goals. What are the breeder that you're talking to, what is their goals? If they don't have a goal or they waver at this question, run, okay? I know exactly what goals I have for my breed. I breed number 1 for health and number 2 for disposition. That is the most important thing to me for what I breed for. I want to breed the most well-adjusted, well-rounded family pet. Now, there are other breeders who have different goals, and that's okay. We all can't be breeding for the same thing, but they should have clear goals. Another thing is that they value their reputation. So they are going to stand behind what they breed for the rest of their life. In my contract, there is a clause that I will take the dog back no matter what for its whole life. And there's actually a fine that I can take you to court and charge you $2,000 if you do not return the dog to me if you do not have it anymore. Any reputable breeder should be standing behind what they breed for the rest of its life. They should always be available to you to ask questions. That you should be able to contact that breeder throughout the rest of their life, your dog's life, and ask questions about your dog, and they're going to stand behind that. They are going to be willing to be there for you, answer questions for you. If they don't know the answer, help you find it. They should be behind you. And so that is how you would know that they are a reputable breeder. That they always take the dog back, that they value their reputation, and that they stand behind what they breed, that there is a lifetime of support. Another way is that if they are breeding and it is a pet quality, which most dogs that are born are pet quality, not very many are breeding quality. You may have one out of a litter that is a breeding quality. Not every dog is breeding quality, okay? Anybody who tells you otherwise is a liar. There is a spay and neuter contract. If a dog is not breeding quality, it has to come with a spay and neuter contract. And a reputable breeder should require that. On mine, if you have not been approved to buy with full AKC rights, and not even all my dogs I will sell full AKC rights, then you have a spay and neuter contract. That they have in their contract a health guarantee. If they are breeding healthy dogs and they know what they're doing, they will always have a health guarantee. If they don't, run. The other thing is that they are following best practices. So we follow the AKC best practices for when to breed, how long to breed, as well as with each of our females, we are talking to our vet and working with him to decide if we're going to breed her. Are we going to stop breeding her earlier than what would be necessarily normal? At what point are, for certain females, we do progesterone testing, things like that. You are doing everything you can to follow best practices. If your breeder is not following best practices and actually, stopping breeding sometime between the ages of 5 to 6 years old, we don't keep breeding until they just stop producing. We stop, spay them, and we do not put them down. We either keep them or rehome them. Find out what are they doing with their breeding stock when they're done. A reputable breeder would have no problem answering that question. Another thing would be that they never, ever sell them before 8 weeks. If a breeder asks you to take a puppy before 8 weeks, get your money back, because that is not a good idea. There is a reason that in certain states it's illegal. I wish in the state of North Carolina it was. It's not, but it should be. A dog needs to be with its mother until 8 weeks old. There's a reason for that. They have done psychological testing that proves that a dog needs to stay with its mother until 8 weeks. Being weaned does not mean that it is time to be away from its mom. There are behaviors that they learn and all of those things, as well as the puppy should be getting ready to have its second booster before it leaves. Which brings another thing, that a puppy should never leave before 8 weeks and before it's seen a vet. A puppy should always go to the vet. Your breeder should be paying their vet to do an exam, to do a fecal, to make sure they've had their first shot, to make sure that their ears are clear, their eyes are clear, and that if something is wrong, they stand behind that. I've had a dog go home that had an ear infection, and you know what? I paid for that dog's medication because it left me with an ear infection, and even though it had seen the vet 2 days prior, it still had an ear infection when it went home and went to its vet, which my rule is within 4 business days. So during that week, it developed an ear infection. But you know what? I want that puppy to receive all the veterinary care that it's going to need, and I'm going to stand behind that. And you should be looking for that in your breeder. Do they have a buyback? Do they have a, we have where there's a limited amount of time that you can bring your puppy back, get your money back, no questions asked. Because we want our puppies to go to people who love them, adore them, and are going to keep them forever. And if for some reason you don't like that puppy, I want it back. Because I brought that puppy into the world. The puppy is only here because I brought it into the world. And I'm going to stand behind that for the rest of its life. The other thing that you should be looking for with a reputable breeder is reviews and references. Looking at Facebook reviews is awesome because you can click on that profile and send that person a message. You can ask them, did you really write this review? Do you still feel the same? It's been, you wrote that review a year ago. Do you still recommend that breeder? Also, they should always, always have a vet reference. My vet in his office will give me a reference any day of the week. They will always back up that, because they do all my vet care. They do all my puppy care, my vet care. They're the ones who dock my dog's tails. They're the ones who do my mom's prenatal care. They are who take care of my dogs if they get sick and have a problem. And so anybody that buys a puppy from me can contact my vet at any time and get a reference and find out what I'm all about. So I hope that this video helps you to know what you need to look for when you're looking for a puppy. I always tell people, I don't care if you buy from me. Doesn't matter to me. I do care that you definitely get a healthy puppy from a reputable breeder. And I'm always willing to offer references for other breeders because sometimes I don't have puppies. I don't have puppies all the time. So if you're looking for a puppy, I may very well know a breeder who has one. And there are several breeders that I know that I would be happy to send you on to get a puppy. One thing I wanted to also say about looking for reputable breeders is that the mothers should always, no matter what, be on premises. There is never an acceptable reason for the mom not to be on premises. Sometimes dad's not. Sometimes if, I have my dog, he will be studying, and if he's studying with a dog that's not mine, you're not going to be able to see him because that would stress out the female. Or sometimes I've used a stud dog, and so it doesn't belong to me, so I don't have that dog. But I would always have their vet information. I would always have pictures of them, and I can get videos of them for you to be able to observe. But the mother will always, always be on premises. You will always be able to see the mother. You should always know where the dog is being raised. So if a dog is being raised in someone's, in a kennel strictly, that's not a good sign. I have not ever had success having a dog that was strictly raised in a kennel. They may not be unhealthy. They may not be, have any issues, but they're not raised around a family, and I want a pet. So even with my breeding dogs, they are my pets. They are my babies, and they live in the house with me. So, and all of my puppies are raised in my home, in my bedroom, and in my living room. They are around my children, they are around other people, and as I said, we follow puppy culture protocols. And so if your breeder cannot show you where the puppies are being raised, now granted, I don't let people go in where the tiny puppies are because it's just not safe, but they can always do a video of it. And when they are over 3 weeks old, I do allow people where they are raised because it's in my living room. So you can come in my living room, you can see where they're raised, you can see where they play, everything is transparent as much as I possibly can make it for the safety of my family and my pets. So those are my tips for finding a reputable breeder and what the difference is between a backyard breeder, a puppy mill, and an ethical breeder. If you have any other questions, please don't hesitate to ask. I always enjoy all of the messages and questions that I get after I do a video. But please, please, please educate yourself before you get a puppy. Beyond anything else, please make an informed decision. Educating everyone you know about what the problems are with backyard breeders and puppy mills and the problems that it's causing for dogs who are not being bred the way that they should, in a way that is bettering the breed, that is bettering society and bettering family pets. If we could put this issue to rest, there would not be a need for pounds. There would not be a need for rescues and things like that. But I just couldn't stand by any longer and watch people throwing around the terms backyard breeder and puppy mill and not know what they're talking about, because I think that that's probably, to me and any of my friends that are good breeders, the worst thing you could ever call us is a backyard breeder. It is so insulting because of what we do and what we put ourselves through. It is a labor of love, but it is still labor. We spend thousands of dollars at our vet. We spend thousands of dollars in supplements and puppy food. And I mean, literally last month, I spent $200 on dog toys, okay? I love my dogs and love this breed, but I put a lot into it to get out what I do from my dogs. And the people that I know, admire, and work with do the same. And so please don't throw away on those terms without knowing what you're talking about. And please educate yourself before you get a puppy. Please like our page and follow us so that you can keep up whenever we put out a video. And if you found this video helpful or interesting, if you would please share it so that we can get the word out about what a puppy mill backyard breeder are. Thank you for your time, and I'll tune in again soon.